turn our attention to Welsh baritone RHYDIAN. He was, of course, he came from the X Factor television show. He didn't actually win it, but we can't forget him, and that's a good thing. RHYDIAN, good afternoon.
Becky, hi. I've been listening to your show, and I'm quite interested because my most fearful experience was the night before my driving test.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so nervous because I had to pass because my parents are going on holiday for 2 weeks the day after, so I wanted freedom.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to say I had the most lenient examiner you could ever wish for. He put his feet up on the dashboard practically, put his seat back, and he started by going, "All right, can you read that number plate over there?" And to be honest with you, I couldn't really see it. I think, I'm not sure he was really with it, but he gave me a pass anyway. I think I had 3 minors, and I got out of jail lightly because I'm not a very good driver, I have to say.
You're unusual in a bloke saying, actually, but you are the second bloke that I've spoken to this afternoon who said, you know what, I'm not that good a driver, to be absolutely honest. It's an unusual confession.
I'm really not. I love cars and I like being driven, but driving is not my forte. I went to South Africa, I did a gap year there, and I had to look after the children and take them to matches, cricket matches, in a minibus. And I remember vividly going down the wrong way of a motorway and the head boy next to me going, Sir, what are you doing? And ever since that moment, I don't think I've driven properly. So I packed it in. I haven't driven for 10 years.
So, oh, really? Honestly?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, how amazing. So you obviously have a driver then, RHYDIAN. That's showbiz, that's it.
Well, you know, black cab, taxis. Yeah, we do get driven around. And when I'm in London, I've got no qualms using the tube. I think it's the fast and most effective way of travel. And then when I'm back in Wales, my parents can drive me around, you know, and I got plenty of friends, Becky, you know. I think I should get back into driving.
I can't believe it. So you go, Mum, I need to go to wherever it is. And she goes, all right then, love, I'll take you.
It's usually my dad, actually. Yeah, he's a good driver, quite slow, and I always have to look left, look right, look ahead. He goes, look ahead, I'm going to overtake, you know. So I'm his co-driver. I'm a very good co-driver, been disciplined by my father, but not a very good driver myself.
Well, do you know what? It's always interesting. You never know where the conversation's going to take you. The next song, I'm going to come back to you, obviously, and have a chat, but the next song we will hear is your song, One Day Like This, which, of course, is the title track from the new album. So, RHYDIAN, stay right where you are. Thank you for sharing your driving stories with us. It's always good to hear. It's now 20 to very anthemic. One Day Like This, that's the title track from RHYDIAN's new album, which is I think it's your 5th studio album, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
And it's out in April, I know. Why did you choose that song?
I've always loved it. I think as a classical crossover artist, it's important to include some contemporary songs in the track listing. You know, it's classical singers have a tendency to sing slow song after slow song, and I think if you're listening to that on a record, it becomes a little bit laborious. So I thought having a song with a bit of a beat, which is, as you rightly say, very anthemic, and famously, of course, the band Elbow sang it at the London Olympics.
And they are from Manchester. Of
course, mm-hmm. You know, and my management knows the band, and I suggested the song, and initially we were going to change it into Italian, and I tried that, but it was a little bit too cheesy, if truth be told. So we stuck to the English, and I've done various different things in it, and at the end you can hear a brass band. I used to play in a brass band and play the trumpet, so instead of the electric guitars at the end, we changed it for a brass band. So
we've been smiling actually this morning. What about recording a duet with yourself, which you have done on this album, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. I think it's a first. I was introduced to opera and classical music by my mum, who took me to see Bizet's The Pearl Fishers, and the beautiful duet there, I fell in love as soon as I heard it. I was 14, and that's when I started to develop the voice as a classical singer. So I've been wanting to record that song, and we've included it on this album. And my range has increased over the past 2 years, so I did the tenor part and the baritone part, and the voice is they blend as you would hope.
Well, I said, only RHYDIAN could do that, but apparently I am told that Aled has recorded a duet with himself. So Catherine de Bell has tweeted and said that.
Aled Jones, love Aled Jones. Yeah, I sang with Aled on my TV show 2 years ago, and he's a good friend. But I'm not sure he would have done the Pearl Fishers duet. I think it could be a different song.
Yeah, I think it is a different song. So it's not unheard of then.
Oh no, Leslie Garrett, she's duetted with herself as well. A lot of singers can do that. We're just all a bit lonely, Becky.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's for me, it's got to sound sonically right, and it's a beautiful melody that everybody knows and loves. And as I said, it brought me into singing. Hearing that, I fell in love. And yeah, I quite enjoy being a tenor. I mean, as you say, I'm a baritone, but I think it goes up to a top B, which isn't too bad as for the tenor. So so I enjoyed doing that.
I just thinking X Factor was, of course, very good for you. But as I intimated before, people remember you. I don't know whether it's the theatricality of your performances or your look, your hair or whatever it is. But for whatever reason, we remember who you are. And there aren't that many X Factor contestants, I suppose, apart from the winners you can say that about.
Well, it's kind of you to say so. Yeah, I think people, if you walk down the street, they remember me for being the guy with the white hair who sings classically. And my name is quite distinctive. And is it Peter Robinson, the voiceover guy, kind of did me a favour because he used to come on and go RHYDIAN, in a quite I don't like some Viking soldier fashion. So it was. But I've had to keep on doing what I do and making albums and touring and working hard. And it's in the past 6.5 years I've done a lot of theatre on the road.
Yes, I was going to say that. You've done lots of theatre. You've done the Rocky Horror Show. I think I spoke to you about that. Greece, you've done We Will Rock You, haven't you?
I have, yeah. And it started out actually in 2010 when I did The War of the Worlds. And I went on tour doing a UK and European tour with Jeff Wayne of the War and Worlds, and I met Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues, who was in the cast, and he got talking to me about his huge hit Nights in White Satin, and I was just so interested in what he had to say. So sort of to pay homage to Justin, that's the lead track of my album Nights in White Satin. I have changed that into Italian, and there is a little reference to the English melody at the end, but I've made it my own, and it's one of the tracks I'm most proud of, and we did a video for that as well, and Justin has reported that he loves what he's hearing.
I was going to say, yes, do you know how he's responding to that?
Yeah, he absolutely loves it. So and that's important. You don't want the original writer to hate what you've done. But there's nothing worse than a classical singer doing a karaoke version of a great song. So if you listen to my Nights in White Satin, it's very different from the original. It's very, very Italian, and I think it's quite sexy. Anyway.
Sounds like you're busy and enjoying life as well. Do you prefer what must be quite solitary in a way, recording your songs, or do you prefer to be in an ensemble, in a cast, as in Greece or We Will Rock You or War of the Worlds?
Good question. I like the both, actually. I love being in a team and a cast. I like the structure of being in a musical. You get the same every night, I like that, and I like the camaraderie, but I also love being a soloist and recording and creating. But what I love to do most is perform those songs live, So I'm pretty sure we're doing a tour in the autumn. I'll be coming to, no doubt, the Bridgewater Hall. I think that's Manchester, isn't it? Yeah. In either October or November. So, that's what I love doing. And recording is... It's tricky, You've got to think of the songs. You've got to deliver. You've got to record them properly. You've got to, like on this, I like to collaborate.
Oh yes, you have collaborated, haven't you?
Yeah, I love doing duets, and I'm a massive fan of Bonnie Tyler. Always have been. In the 80s, I listened to her in my dad's car because it was one of his favourite artist.
Wow, I bet that's a meeting of voices.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm really pleased with it. I heard on the radio yesterday, and it went down really well. It's Miserere, and she just really nailed it, and to fuse the classical voice with the husky rock voice, and for me to work with one of my idols, because, you know, we forget her back catalogue, and she was one of Jim Steinman's protégés along with Meatloaf, and she was so professional, and she rang me when I sent her the demo, and she said, "RHYDIAN, oh, I love it, I'm crying," you know, and she was really into it. So that was a moment for me, and I'm very pleased with the how it's come out.
It's very good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Especially thank you for sharing the fact that you don't drive and haven't driven for 10 years.
No, I'm terrible. Don't get in a car with me.
RHYDIAN is a terrible driver, and he admits it. Thank you. One Day Like This is out in April, so we've got a few weeks left yet until it's out. And look forward to seeing you here back in Manchester when you come on tour. Thank you.
Really good to talk to you, Becky. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.